Welcome to the Sports Card Talk Show. Sports Card Talk Show with Kevin Anderson and Lauren Walker, the Skull Brothers.
Welcome to episode 147 of the Sports Card Talk Show. Friday Night Light interview tonight.
Yeah, we've got Greg and Quentin, a father-son combo from QARD CURRENCY with a Q.
Yeah, cool, man. We'll have to find out all about that. I mean, we know, but we got to have them share. Yeah, super excited to have them on, and I think we'll do a little trivia first, and then we're gonna kind of do a new thing. I guess pickup of the week or just a card of the week.
Yeah.
Kind of do it on the fly, so we're only going to show one right now. But,
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be a new part of it. A little trivia?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right. Play along. Let us know how you do. Who served as Timberwolves head coach from 2005 to 2007 before taking the same post with the Toronto Raptors in 2011?
I'm going to say Sam Mitchell.
Dwayne Casey.
Oh.
What defensive end left the team in 1978 as the Vikings' career leader in sacks?
What defensive end?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Carl Eller.
Yes. In 2016, who was named Timberwolves head coach and president of basketball operations?
Oh, that's got to be Thibodeau.
Yep. In what year did Kevin Garnett win an NBA championship as a member of the Boston Celtics?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm going to say 2008.
Nice.
Oh, I got it?
You did.
Yes. I was just waiting for you to say, no, 2009.
Dude, it was one of those things where it's like you remembered when he left, and was it that year or the next year? How did that go?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So for the card of the week, I really enjoy the Panini Lux, and this is the Emerald, I think, 1 of 5.
I love this card, dude.
AC Green. And I'm just a big fan of the Lux, especially these ones. I think they call them Portrait.
I love it, dude. It's such a sweet card.
Yeah, I've owned several of them, and I will probably stick with the lower tier guys because, like, I saw a Magic pop up 101, $2,000. So I'll stick with the lesser known or not as big of names.
Yeah, AC though. How many championships did he win with the Lakers?
3.
3, yeah.
Yeah. Three titles with them.
Integral part. I think he's the all-time.
The nickname is the Iron Man.
Yeah. He's the Iron Man of basketball. Has a record for most consecutive games played. Yeah,
in the regular season.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna do this now instead of having a mail day. I think we'll just a pickup of the week or a card that we enjoy out of the collection because I know you've been moving stuff back and forth and here and there, and you end up running into some cool cards. You're like, oh man, I forgot I had that.
Yeah, there's not enough time in the day to show off all the cards.
I got. So yeah, and anyways, I just really enjoy these ones. I have it on my search on eBay, just Panini Lux. And
oh really?
Yeah, when they pop up, especially 1 of 5.
Yeah.
And I hope that Card Closet is the one that got this card because the same seller had there's a specific set that he's trying to complete, and it was one of the cards he was missing. It was an AC Green. It's the parallel version of this All-Star set for the Lakers. It almost looks like a basketball, and it was up. And I was like, man, I should really reach out to him. I'm like, he knows it's going to be, it's there, you know. And then the very next day, our good buddy Drew at Big Grizzly Cards post the 101 Terrell Davis. You know, he's trying to complete that. He's like, I didn't even know it went off. And I'm like, I should have told Card Closet. I should have told him. So anyways, yeah, if you know somebody's looking for something, always keep an eye out and probably reach out. So I apologize if you didn't get it, but that card was already at $50 and there was quite a bit of time to go. I was kind of surprised. But he did say, I remember he did a little series on it. He said it's hard to get, so really hard to get. Well, I'm excited to dial him up. Should we dial him up?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right.
Ring-a-ling ding dong.
All right, we got Greg and Quentin on the line. How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How you guys doing?
We're doing really good.
We're doing good, guys.
Yeah, super glad to have you guys on.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting us.
For sure. So I think we'll have you start like we usually do and tell us a little bit about your collecting history and get us up to today and the channel and explain the spelling and all that fun stuff that goes along with it. We'll try to think of any questions along the way, but you fill it in.
All right. So I have always been into sports. I'm a sporty kid. Basketball was always my number one love when it came to sports. As a kid, like everybody else, I found out that sports cards were a thing. I thought it was really cool to be able to have the guys that I, pretended to be in my backyard in a card. Allen Iverson was like my hero when I was in elementary school, middle school, to the point where when ESPN magazine was an actual magazine before it went digital, when I was in middle school, I had a subscription to it, and I would go through and rip out every single picture of Allen Iverson, and I wallpapered my entire bedroom with the pages of Allen Iverson.
Oh yeah.
And then I got into sports cards and really enjoyed it. And just collected them, put them into like old shoe boxes. And then high school came, and I kind of got focused on like playing sports for myself, not really collecting cards anymore. And I wish I was, because I was in high school the same time LeBron was. Like, as I'm playing as a sophomore, I'm like, man, this kid's a junior. Like, I knew he was going to be LeBron. Into cards,
Right.
And then backtracing a little bit, I can't remember exactly how old I was, but Pokemon got huge. Yeah. And I started buying tons of packs. I had a binder filled. And now you look at what all these first edition Pokemon cards are going for. And it's like, oh my gosh. And I just gave those away. But, I obviously, Quentin now is 11, which blows my mind. But he came home probably January, February. One time he went out with my mom, and they just stopped at like a few different stores, and he came home and he had some cards, and he's like, oh, and then he got me these cards, and I like sat down and looked through them with him, and it was like almost an immediate, like, I'm going to buy some cards. I missed this. And then we ended up going to like Walmart or something a few days later. So like, this actually blows my mind, being so new to the hobby and being at the point where we're at now, where I don't even think about even going to Walmart at this point, because it's pointless. But we went to Walmart and we picked up like Optic Football Blaster boxes and some other stuff. And so we started, ripping that open. And I had known that like sports cards were gaining popularity, but I had never taken like my own personal time to really look into it. But then I did, starting at that point. And there was a ton to learn, and so I took a lot of time just watching YouTube channels and typing into Google like different questions and looking for answers. And just kind of went from there. And funny story, I bought my first graded card the day after the NFL draft, because I had already been doing like research into the cards, and realized that you could buy, undervalued players or forgot about players graded. And when they're graded, it's a huge premium. So the night of the NFL draft, the Raiders drafted Henry Ruggs. and I was sitting with, I think I was either with my brother or my best friend. And I had already mentioned to them how I was starting to get into sports cards. Because usually, like, when I get into something, I usually, like, just cannonball into it.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And they drafted Henry Ruggs. And I'd always loved him and his backstory and whatnot, and believed in his talent, and just kind of believed in, like, Gruden. And I always liked Derek Carr. And I just said out loud, I was like, I'm buying some Derek Carr rookie cards tomorrow. And I went on eBay and I ended up getting 2 of his Topps Chrome cards, PSA 10, for $19.98 each. And then obviously now with all these spikes and whatnot, I just sold one of them for like $85. But yeah, so it's been exciting and fun. And Quentin has the players that he likes, and it's fun also with him because a lot of the kids now play Madden and 2K, and it's kind of cool. And I actually think you hear a lot like our kid's gonna stay in the hobby, or our kid's gonna get into the hobby, and like you said, we are not the first channel that you've had on that is father son. So when I look around, like, I see a lot of kids in the hobby, and whether it's their own channel and their parents helping them out with like buying the stuff, or it's them with their parents, I definitely see a lot of kids, continuing on into the hobby. And with that, when I was a kid, I would have had zero idea of who at that point, say early 90s, like I had no idea who at that point what the vintage players were, or the old school Hall of Famers. Like there was no way of me knowing. The only thing I knew was the guys who were on TV and the guys that were in video games. But now it's actually kind of cool because the Madden games and the 2K games now include all of these old vintage Hall of Fame players, like in their prime. So there will be guys like we'll be going through like 90s hoops or like 90 football cards, and Quentin will be like, "Oh, save that guy! He's nasty in Madden." You know what I mean? And it's like some dude I never even heard of, and he's like, "Oh, he's got an X factor. He's nasty." I'm like,
"Oh, that is so cool."
I don't think he's the only kid that looks at it kind of that way and kind of sees their card and is like, "Oh, that's cool. Like I play with that guy."
It's not only kids that do that. A good buddy of ours, GK 45x5, when he's going through his cards, he'll be like, "I love him in Madden. I love him in Madden." Some of the old dudes. So it's funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, it's great. Man.
So Quentin, what's your favorite sport to collect? I know you obviously like those old nasty X Factor players from Madden, but what's your sport?
Basketball.
Basketball is your favorite? What's your favorite team?
Celtics.
And the favorite player?
Damian Lillard.
Oh yeah, he really put on a show this year in the playoffs, didn't he?
Yeah, he was so excited. So he's liked Dame for like 2-3 years already. And Dame just like never gets the love that he rightfully deserves. Dame is unbelievable, especially at his size.
Oh yeah.
No.
And so go ahead.
You guys are both Celtic fans, right?
Yeah.
But you talk about Allen Iverson when you were a kid. He's a Lillard fan.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
My favorite player is LeBron James, just to be upfront and honest.
Okay.
So I think it happens to the point where there isn't somebody on the Celtics, for me at least personally, that I like more than LeBron, or that I think is a better basketball player than LeBron. And for kids now, I'm actually kind of surprised that his favorite team is the Celtics and he likes Dame, because most kids now, they just like whatever team their favorite player is on. You know?
Yeah. So maybe
so I was
a Trailblazers fan.
Yeah. So like I was a barber for 7 years, and every other kid that came in the barbershop was a Warriors fan, and because they love Steph Curry.
Yep.
Like at least 80% of the kids. So it's pretty funny, but I'm a Celtics fan, and I'm not happy with our team. I'll leave it at that. I'm not happy with our quote unquote superstar. He's not my favorite player. I like Jaylen Brown much more than I like Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum gets way too much hype and way too much love for the games that he actually puts up. So like last game, like people like 30 points, 14 rebounds, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but he shot 4 for 12 from 3, took terrible shots at the end of the game to lose us the game, made bonehead decisions. Meanwhile, every single time Jaylen Brown scores 25 points or more, we have not lost a game. And at the end of the game, he doesn't get the ball because it's the Jason Tatum show. And
I heard on the radio that he went up for that dunk that got blocked, and they said if he would have really went up with that for that dunk, it would have never got blocked.
That's my number one gripe with Jason Tatum is that he's way too soft. He always looks to take a jump shot first. If he's going to take a jump shot, at least 85% of the time, it's going to be his step back or his step to the left shot that he takes. And when he goes to the basket, it's usually like a one-handed underneath, try to like loop it up. So rightfully so, he actually tried to go to the basket like a man. And because he doesn't do it often enough, he got blocked. And we were sitting there. I was sitting on the couch with my brother. And the first thing I said was, if that was Jaylen Brown, he would have dunked the ball or at least got fouled and went to the free throw line.
Oh, man.
When you talk nasty, the guys that we grew up playing basketball, they were nasty.
I know. Jason Tatum would have got his head taken off if that was 15 years ago.
Right.
I can only imagine the flopping that Harden would have done in the late 80s, early 90s NBA.
It's crazy nowadays. And it's like guys like that, even guys like that, it's like his scoring ability is unbelievable. Like his one-on-one scoring ability is crazy. But when you average like 18 free throws a game, you should be averaging close to 30 points.
Yeah.
I just think that a lot of stuff is blown out of proportion without putting it into like correct context.
Right. Definitely a different time. And obviously we're a little bit older, so we wax poetic about the 80s and 90s. And I'm like, yeah, Harden might be really good. But I just don't know he would have survived in a game back then, because you can't hardly look his way and it's not a foul.
It's crazy.
When all the big names, even LeBron, puts his hands behind his back to guard him, that tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a foul called on you.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Don't add us. Don't hate us for thinking that. But
we kind of got a little sidetracked there. So
we did a little bit.
So he comes home with some cards, and then you get back into it. What caused you to decide to do your channel?
We kind of like talked about it. I was like, hey, it'd be kind of fun if we just opened up cards together. And he so like a lot of kids nowadays, they watch a lot of YouTube. And so he's like mentioned having his own YouTube channel multiple times. Mm-hmm. So I figured that this would be a cool way for him to be able to have a YouTube channel he's a part of and us to do something together. So I asked him if he was interested in it, and he said he was. So I was like, all right, let's just do it. Let's have fun and see what happens.
So, well, like I was telling Lauren, we know, but explain the spelling of your card currency.
Got it. So his name is Quentin, starts with a Q. And, I wanted to do a little play on words. So I switched out the C with the Q, kind of to just make him, like, his name a part of the channel, upright.
Yeah, that's cool, man. We really like that.
Quentin's going to run to the bathroom real quick.
That sounds good. That sounds good. All right. So, you want to touch on the project that you guys are doing now? Well, I'll let you explain it, starting with the key, and why don't you explain that?
So, he kind of like a kid also wanted to get a little bit of his own money to like do whatever he wants with. And I also wanted to just kind of take an opportunity to try to teach him, just how you can start small, and between being creative and, taking your time, having some patience, you can work your way up and, increase the value of things through, hard work and whatnot. That was part of coming up with it. Another part was, like we talked about earlier, how, you hear a lot of people say that, like, kids are getting priced out, and are kids going to be able to continue? Is the hobby going to kind of just die out because people are going to get sick and tired of not being able to afford stuff? And I kind of wanted to also show that you could start again with a small amount in this hobby and work your way up to, things that you like. And kind of in that last video, the part 3 with the 3 Trae Young rookie cards, that was kind of like the point I made. Like, look, if I was a Trae Young fan, I could have in 2 weeks just turned $50 into 3 Trae Young SGC 9.5 rookie cards,
Right.
Which I think is pretty cool. And we have a new guest.
Yes. Yeah. Hi there.
Yeah. Oh, she's on this now.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. We really like that, and it's another way, I think, to enjoy the hobby too.
Right.
And one of the things that I always like to tag when we're doing stuff on Instagram or here is, collect what you like, and
Yep.
it doesn't have to be chasing,
Zion and
right. Or running to 17 different Walmart and Targets hoping to find a pack.
Right.
What's so cool too, and I just thought of this, is like when we were kids and we opened up some packs of cards and we hit one of the big cards, and you go down to your card shop thinking you could sell it to them, and they you bring down like a $20 card and they'd be like, I'll give you $2 for it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, it's worth 20, and they're like, yeah, it's a nice card, but I already have a whole bunch of these.
Right.
So I'm gonna go in my back stock.
Right.
And so you couldn't sell it. Now you've got the kids nowadays have so much more ability to get what your card is worth by hustling online,
Absolutely. I think that's part of the other thing too, like I said, like getting excited, we'll be on, like, Quentin really loved Bo Jackson from not right now. So he really loved Bo Jackson, from Madden. And so we went online one day and we were looking at the Bo Jackson. I can't remember what year it is. Might be 87.
It's the second year.
87. He's like sitting on the bench, like looking over his shoulder. He's got his pads on. But I think I got him like a PSA 9 or something but like I can't even remember how much it was. Maybe $40.
Is that
But he thought it was the coolest.
Is that the top super rookie football card?
It is a football card. I think it might be like his first like soul, because I think his first card was the one where he's got like the pads and the bat.
No, that what you're talking about is a 1988 top super rookie, and that's his actual rookie card. The one with him doing this with
not that one. That's the one that was before the one we have. He's in the Raiders uniform, and he's like sitting on the bench, and he's kind of like looking to the left, I believe.
Yeah. That's a 88 top super rookie. Top. That is his rookie card, football rookie card.
Got it. Yeah. So we got him one of those, and he just thought it was the coolest thing. I think it was like $40, maybe. You know what I mean? But
totally
to have, there are definitely ways to enjoy the hobby without, having to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, right. For sure. What was I just had something in my mind, and then we it went blank. I'm sorry about that. So we know your basketball team. I wanted to circle back. How about football? Do you have a favorite football team and football player?
Who's your favorite football team?
Patriots.
Okay. And how about a player?
Who's your favorite player? Who is your favorite football player? Mine's Tom Brady.
Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, yeah. I'm a Pats fan. My favorite player is still Tom Brady, by the way. I hope the Bucks do well.
Yes.
Is it of all time or now?
How about both? You could do either one.
All right. All time is probably Randy Moss.
Oh yeah.
I love that. They're huge Vikings fans.
We definitely like that one.
Probably Lamar or Cam.
Okay. Nice. Yep. Yeah. How with you guys liking the Patriots? How are you feeling about Cam?
So, I think he'll be good in the system. So, like week one, the offense didn't look all that different, other than the like 2 or 3 run pass options that we added into the offense. The pass plays were all still like quick, get the ball out quick. We ran the ball a ton. My worry is that he's just going to get hit too much. Like he got hit a lot that game, and I'm really don't want to see him get hit that many times next week with Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams coming down to end his life.
Right.
So that, and then the fact that he'll have 8 home games on turf. If he's going to be running a lot, that seems to take a beating on people. So I don't know. I think if he stays healthy, that will be good, because for whatever reason, our defense is always pretty good.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Belichick gets those lunch pail guys that come to work and play hard every day, man.
He really does. It's wild. Like we have so many young guys on our team that are either rookies this year or were on the team last year and just like didn't play at all. And between losing like 3 starting defensive players to other teams and then having the other players just opt out due to everything going on, we have a lot of young kids playing on the defensive side, but I feel like, Bill has a huge chip on his shoulders that he's going to prove that he can do it without Tom. Tom's got that same chip, which is why I think he's going to have a good season.
Yep. I can't remember where I saw it on Instagram somewhere, but they were talking about all the former coaches and all the former quarterbacks and all the former whatevers of Belichick all 0-1 to start the season. Belichick 1-0. Somebody posted that on Instagram. I was laughing. I'm like,
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny that I go to say like Washington Redskins, and I'm like the Washington, but they're in outright first place in their division too after week 1, which is pretty funny to think about.
It is.
Especially when they started up that game behind 17-0. It's like, oh, same Washington, different name, but same team.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. And then after, like in between commercials of the Patriots game, I go to Red Zone and you see it like creeping up. It's like 17-7, 17-14, like 17-17. I'm like, what?
I did the same thing. I'm like looking, I'm 17-0. That game's over. I'm like, okay, 17-7.
All right.
And it just kept on going. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? I wasn't watching or anything, but
the football season, I think, is going to be exciting. Like, there's so much talent in the NFL now, like just in all sports in general. It's just like every game is like there's just superstars everywhere.
Yep, for sure. I know in one of the ones I watched recently, you were talking about the upcoming draft, and people are kind of downplaying it. I recommend you go check it out because I don't follow college basketball, and I'm like, I got to write those names down.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioning it.
I've asked a couple guys about it too, and one of the guys told me, I was like, why do you think that next year's draft is so bad? And his answer was legitimately, all of the talking heads that I respect are all saying that it's not good. So I was like, all right. Like, I wanted to say, like, did you watch any of the kids play or like look into any of them? Because, like I said in that video, I would argue that there's as much talent, if not more, in this upcoming draft. Like John Morant proved himself. Don't get me wrong. I think John Morant is going to have a good career, like, especially if he stays healthy. I think he'll be a great basketball player. But like if we're just talking about both draft classes before we got to see them play an NBA game, you have, let's use John Morant as the guard who went to Murray State and was not playing against NBA caliber talent on a game-to-game basis, as opposed to the projected two first guards being taken, LaMelo Ball, who just spent last season playing professional basketball with professional basketball players, and Anthony Edwards, who was at Georgia in the SEC, absolutely putting up crazy numbers as a freshman. Just in my mind, looking at that, like if neither one of them had played in the NBA yet, LaMelo and Anthony Edwards' talent is just as validated, if not more validated, than John Morant's was.
Gotcha.
And and then there's just a bunch of other players like Obi Toppin. Like, I don't even hear anybody talking about that kid out of Dayton. He's, in my opinion, like Amari Stoudemire 2.0. Jumps out of the building, super athletic, and has a great mid-range jump shot, shoots free throws. You don't have to worry about his knees or him being overweight.
Just going to ask you about his knee. Wasn't that Stoudemire's deal? Just the knee injuries got him?
Well, yeah, it was. But I was referring more to like a Zion who played 19 games. And
yeah.
Everybody and their mother thinks that he's not going to last more than 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And like that's what everyone thought last year with him coming into it.
I don't think Amari's issues with his knees popped up until he got traded or went to New York. I think New York is just, the Knicks are cursed, man.
Yeah, for real.
He's an exciting player for sure.
Oh, man, I remember like I am a humongous Timberwolves fan whenever I decide to be. Whenever the Timberwolves are good, I like them. But KG was playing, and he'd always kind of like people. The Suns were always really good too, and there's always be this discussion of who was better. And I hated it that people even considered Amari as good as KG, and he was. It was Suns were awesome back in those days with him and Nash and Marion. And
they were super good. I love Kevin Garnett also, especially the fact that he helped win us a ring.
Right.
So, the T-Wolves got the number 1 pick. Who do you think they should take then? So
it's tough. Like with their roster, I wouldn't take James Wiseman, and I didn't even mention him just now. He's 7'1", shoots the ball very well, left-handed kid, runs, can handle the ball. He's like a guard, but he's 7'1".
Oh man.
They have Cat, so I don't know if I would necessarily want to take James Wiseman unless you're going to move Cat.
Right.
And they also have D'Angelo Russell.
Yep.
So I don't know if I would take Anthony Edwards because they're basically like the same size and same build. So I would personally either trade the pick if they can get like a nasty package, or go ahead.
I've heard talk of going after Booker and packaging up some of our younger.
Right.
The roster is like the youngest roster in the NBA right now, and they think we got a lot of talent on the bench that we can trade and go after Booker.
See, like something like that. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, like 4 or 5 years from now, I don't know what any of these kids' talent will pan out to be.
Right.
But them are going to be as good as Devin Booker is going to be next year. So if I could get Devin Booker, I would do that. If I couldn't, then just me personally, I would probably take LaMelo Ball because you can play him at the 2 and 3 because he's 6'8", or Obi Toppin because then he can run the floor alongside Cat, and you're not having to battle for minutes. That was my personal take on the Timberwolves.
I haven't followed. All I know is that is LaMelo a lot better shooter than his brother?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This was something that I would said to my brother and best friend like 3-4 years ago. I thought LaMelo was going to be the best one, simply because by the time Lonzo got into the NBA and the age difference, that meant that LaMelo was going to be playing against an NBA player on a regular basis and playing, going to open run with him and his team. So since LaMelo was 15, 16 years old, he's been playing on a day-to-day basis with NBA caliber guys. So in my mind, I was just like, this kid's going to be the best one. He's got the best, opportunity.
Right.
And I think he will be. I think Lonzo is really good. Also, I just think it might take him a couple of years because of all the extra pressure that the media and whatnot put on him due to his dad.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man.
No, one thing I know that you spoke about buying Derek Carr PSA rookie cards, and what was the connection? Why do you like Derek Carr so much?
So I always thought that he was like a decently good quarterback. I think that early in his career he had the same issue that like let's say Ryan Tannehill had, like different coaches, different offensive coordinators, not a strong foundation. And I think Gruden now being there a couple years, I think Gruden personally is a really good coach. So having that foundation there now, knowing that this was going to be Josh Jacobs' second year, he's an absolute savage. And the fact that they drafted Henry Ruggs, I don't know. I was watching it that night and I was like, I think Derek Carr is going to have a good year.
Yep.
I went on eBay and his PSA 10s were $19.98. So I said, all right, I'm going to buy 2 of these.
I give you a lot of credit because we've talked a lot about doing things and we just don't ever capitalize on anything. So I give you a lot of credit for saying, I'm going to do it. And then you did it.
Yeah.
That's a big thing right there. Follow through, you know?
We are starting to do, I told Kevin about this player and, man, how many, that was just a couple days ago, right?
Yeah.
I went on ComC and I have like 300 of his rookie cards now. They are at, and he's like, you really think he's going to be that good? And I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be that good, but you can't buy his cards any cheaper than they are right now. They're like, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel. I mean, right. $20 on a Derek card, PSA 10 Topps Chrome. It's going to go up just because it's Topps Chrome cards are going through the, you know.
Yeah, smart buy.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked, like new stadium, new. So I bought those cards, and then I actually, like, throughout the next few days, I ended up buying a good amount of other Derek Carr cards that I still have, and I'm just holding on to throughout this season to see what happens.
Yeah.
But probably 2 weeks after I bought all my Derek Carr cards, have you guys heard of Vegas Dave?
Yep.
So he's the one who just sold the Superfractor Trout.
Yep.
And so like 2 weeks after I had already got all my cards, he came out with a video talking about what player he invested in for this upcoming season. Because he usually only like buys one card because he buys the card.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? Everyone said I was stupid for buying the first Trout. He's like, I sold that one for $900,000. Everyone thought I was stupid for buying the other one. I'm gonna break the record with that one. He's like, and I'm telling you right now that this year, the guy who I'm going all in on is Derek Carr. He showed a 1-of-1 that he paid like a bunch of money for. He's like, he's like, this card right here, I'm going to sell for a bunch of money at the end of the season. And that video came out and I was like, yes.
that had been awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man. That is so cool. So I think I think that's a perfect way to kind of start wrapping this up a little bit. Why don't you take a few minutes and talk about where to find you on social and what your work. You know, well, obviously we talked about what you're working on. So tell people where to find you on social and yeah, let's bring it to a close with that.
All right. So you can check out our YouTube channel and QARD CURRENCY, and the same on Instagram. You know, we just like to make videos when we have the time. School started back up now. So I don't know, you know, if we'll be able to do like a few a week still right now, but doing them when we can. Still working on this project. Looking forward to that. Hoping to finish that off before, you know, the school year ends. And then on Instagram, we usually just post up like different cards that we, you know, pick up or cards that may come in the mail. Actually, real quick, I have this. It's kind of cool. So I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. Not that, like, there's really not that much value to it, but it's a 1995-96 Upper Deck Jordan, the rookie years in an 8. And
oh, yep.
I got this card in 1995 when I was a kid, and it's been sitting in a sneaker box. Like I said, all my cards were in a sneaker box. And when he got me back into cards, and I started going through all the sneaker boxes, and I found that one, and that was one of the first ones that I sent. I was telling you earlier, I sent in one by myself before I knew anything. So that was one that I sent in, and it came back in 8. I was pretty surprised. It had been sitting in a shoebox since 1995.
Wow.
That was pretty cool.
That is cool. Well, we want to thank you guys for coming on. We'll wrap it up with the Skull Brothers out here in a second, but hang on the line. We'll talk for one more minute. And so that'll bring episode 147 with Greg and Quentin at QARD Currency to a close.
Skull Brothers out.